Yep, so Penta Sports, they ban out the Wisp and the IO and the Earthshaker. These are the two heroes that Mouse Sports opened up with last game, and it worked out really well for them. So the Wisp, obviously, very strong hero from Mouse Sports, pretty staple pick for them, and the Earthshaker worked out incredibly for them. I think the Earthshaker took out like 400 HP from the Death Prophet from level 1, and then came top and got a first blood on the Necrophos, and I think from there, from that first blood on that Necrophos, they sort of won the game. And so Earthshaker IO banned from them, from Penta, and most sports they pick up Nature's Prophet AA. Nature's Prophet, really good hero in general for laning, and then in the mid and late game he just becomes a monster because he manages to find farm really safely with Treants, and having global teleportation is really strong, and it also gives Mouse Sports a bit of a global themed lineup so far. You got the Nature's Prophet, you have the ultimate from Ancient Apparition, and there's still a lot of potential from this Mouse Sports lineup. They haven't picked up any stuns yet, so we'll have to see if Mouse Sports try to go for like a global pickoff lineup, pick up a hero like Monkey King. The Beastmaster is banned for them, and so they don't have that as an option, but.
Nyx, it goes with that global theme. Nyx can Vendetta, work with the Nature's Prophet and the Ancient Apparition.
Yep. The Wind Ranger is a bit of an interesting pickup from Penta Sports. We don't usually see this hero all too often, but I can see the potential from Wind Ranger. You got a huge amount of magic damage from Power Shot. It's some wave clear, and you have Shackle Shot, which is one of the longest lasting disables in the game. So Penta Sports, they go for this Necrophos pick again. Necrophos has sort of been in the meta for the last couple of months. I mean, we saw Necrophos dominate at TI. He did receive a few nerfs, though, namely that his Reaper Scythe cooldown is much longer than it used to be, so it doesn't make Necrophos the brawler that he used to be, because I think the way a lot of teams were playing Necrophos before is that they were fighting constantly as soon as the Necrophos got level 2 and 3 ultimate. But there's a lot of you can sort of see the concept behind Penta Sports' lineup right now. You have the Bounty Hunter, Sand King, super aggressive early game heroes, and then you have Necrophos and Wind Ranger, which should help go for pickoffs and help them make some track gold to help snowball off of the early game.
10 seconds.
Now, the track gold would have been nice in the previous game to try and bring them back, but with this game it should be just as welcoming. And Sand King, Windrunner, Necro, Bounty Hunter. It's an interesting lineup. Obviously, the Windrunner up against this Nature's Prophet, you get that Shackle a little bit easier.
Yep, and Sand King also gives Penta Sports a way to clear the lanes in the mid to late game. I mean, one of the threats you have against a Nature's Prophet and Nyx is that if you can't clear the wave safely, that's when they pick you off, because it's always a good idea to keep your lanes out, and if your lineup's not capable of doing that, that's when the Nyx and the Nature's Prophet really kick in, because either all of the creeps are pushed up against your base, or you have to kind of get in some risk to push them out, and so heroes like Sand King and Wind Ranger, which can push out lanes from a distance or safely, are really necessary against the lineup like Mouse Sports is. Let's see what Mouse Sports pick up here. They still need a mid or a carry.
And it could be either, as they pick up the Venomancer.
Most likely a core Venomancer in this role, or carry a Venomancer, since I'm not sure how well that hero does mid. I mean, the Venomancer hero does well against certain mids, but not against every mid, so almost certainly a safe lane or off lane Venomancer in this case. Very strong pickup in general. In the same boat as Necrophos, like one of these heroes that just popped up before and during TI that ended up being super strong, and this hero kind of works out well this game. Wind Ranger obviously with Rin Run, totally immune or sort of immune to physical attacks, and so heroes like Venomancer, which output a lot of magic damage and output a lot of slow, work well against heroes like Necrophos and Wind Ranger.
So it should be interesting to see PENTA up against this Venomancer, and last picks coming in with these lineups. Anything specific come out to you for both sides?
Most sports, I'd like to see most sports get maybe another AoE team fight hero, AoE stun for them, because they're kind of lacking the stun department right now. You really only have the Impale from Nexus Assassin, and possibly the Cold Feet from the Ancient Aberration, but whenever you face off against a lineup like Wind Ranger, or against cores like Wind Ranger and Necrophos, you really want to be able to stop them from casting their spells, because they can get away from you or they can output a ton of damage in a short period of time. And so maybe a hero like possibly even Lina for their mid. I mean, they didn't pick up Lina last game. No, it was Lina that would have worked better for Penta, but you know, they can still pick up a hero like Lina or Puck to help with their teamfight efforts.
Could they just forget about the stuns and just go straight Drow and hope to really just hit much harder?
The Drow doesn't really work for them this game, especially against quick-moving heroes like Bounty Hunter and Sand King. I mean, Drows suffer in games where the enemy is actually, I guess, encouraged to fight into you early in the game. Because that's when Drow lineups really like to snowball. Like, they like to snowball from level 5 to 10, taking as many tier 1s as possible.
There's that Monkey King you spoke about earlier too. That's going to be picked up.
So really good AoE stun from Monkey King, one of the longest range stuns in the game, aside from Fisher. And so it looks like this Venomancer is going to be mid, which is fine for them. Venomancer doesn't really lose the lane mid against, I assume, Wind Ranger.
5 seconds remaining.
And so the Monkey King really worked out for Mouse Sports' game last time, but I'm not entirely sure if it was a Monkey King, or I'm not sure if we can attribute it to the Monkey King or to the fact that the rest of their lanes went so well. But we'll have to see if they can make this hero work again, because I really do think that Monkey King, as strong as he is in the lane, can really suffer in certain types of games. Since at least I haven't seen this hero picked up as a core for too long. I mean, we've seen a lot of games with him in the last couple of weeks, but usually I think it takes a couple of weeks for teams to figure out how to counter a hero. So we'll see how this game goes for them. And Penta Sports, they pick up the Juggernaut. Not a bad pick. I mean, it works really well against Mouse Sports' lineup because you have the Blade Fury to sort of avoid magic damage, and you have Omni Slash to get on top of the Venomancer, because one concern you have when you have a melee core against the Venomancer is whether or not the Venom is going to actually kite your heroes. And Juggernaut's a hero that's a little bit more difficult to kite. I mean, he moves around quickly, he's got some magic immunity, and eventually he usually builds a Blink or an Abyssal, or maybe neither, or a Manta.
So, should be interesting to see what comes out from both these teams in Game 2. As it is Mouse Sports with a 1-0 lead. It's go around the horn real quick. Skylark's going to be on this.
Why didn't the Nature's Prophet go? Oh, Nature's Prophet's already out of the base. He moved out quickly.
Yeah. And then I just lagged for a real hard second there. I don't know if you got that too.
Yeah, it seems like you lagged. Could be that your upload speed isn't keeping up with your bitrate.
Which is weird. That's like a new problem, because not to humble brag, but I do have pretty good internet in terms of connection speeds. Yeah, but
maybe your ISP isn't pulling their weight, but it's something you'll have to test after the game.
Could be FiOS.
We are in the game.
Fools. And we are in the game. Got to make the best of it, or at least try.
But just note that sometimes I can't hear you because it doesn't output your voice. So if I ever don't respond, it's not because I hate you.
I was thinking that, you know, this might be that last game where it seems like we have personal differences and the disband might be coming. But now that I know this news, I don't think it's gonna happen.
Jug starts off with sort of a mid lane items set up. You got the Poor Man's Shield, the 2 Share Tango, so most likely going to be mid, and that puts this Wind Ranger in the support role, which I actually didn't consider at all, or didn't think about at the end of the draft because I didn't really count the number of cores they had, but Wind Ranger looking like a support. Pretty good as a support, really good damage stats early, able to actually dish out some harassment with some relative safety, and did... Whose sentry is this in the top lane? Okay, it's Ancient Apparition safe lane. I just almost thought that the AA planted an Observer Ward in an enemy sentry, but it doesn't look that way. And they spot out that the Bounty Hunter is top, so that should help them figure out how to play this lane. But it is sort of a dangerous lane for this Venomancer. You have these 2 heroes that can get on top of him and dish out a ton of damage. Especially with this Wind Ranger hiding in the side.
Yeah, Shackle with a possible 1 to level 2 comes Janata to slow him up. Thug could be in trouble.
This could be a kill.
Ooh, that's going to be Power Shot as well as the Burrow Strike. They're looking for this first blood. They're continuing to hit away at RMN with the Chilling Touch. They'll get the Deny instead, so Penta looking pretty good.
That's actually the best case scenario. They get the first flood, and then your Bounty Hunter gets a free trip to the fountain. And it looks like he actually TP's mid to do some damage to this Monkey King, and it could be a kill.
Boundless Strike comes out on them, but there's the Blade Fury from 9, getting Madara very low. One more shot should do it. I think he avoided the attack with Mischief, but he gets the crit. 9 gets the kill. Madara falls, and 2-0 for Penta.
I don't know if that would have been a kill without the crit, because the Monkey King has a Poor Man's Shield, so he got 20%ed, really. And looks like BH manages to deward the Sentry and the Observer Ward top, so this top lane is actually in a lot of trouble for mouse sports. I don't think this Venomancer and AA can really come out to the lane. Really, all they can do is play it safe, and there's a Courier Snipe from the Nature's Prophet mid.
A very good job to try and bring themselves back. Mouz, they'll run away with that. Meanwhile, up top, SA is going to get very low again. Forced back one more time, and this is Penta really just dominating this top lane.
Yep. And in the bottom lane, the Necrophos is doing pretty alright, level 2.5, but the Nature's Prophet's level 3, so I think there's a ton of denies coming up from the Nature's Prophet. He's actually got 13. So I guess that's the one lane that's going well for mouse sports. And Nature's Prophet is a hero that when he does well, he can help his team come back just because of the global presence. And just because this hero is so good at pushing and making stuff happen all over the map.
So just Thug up top, but he's only got 5 last hits, and it just does not look good for him right now. They are trying to converge on his location. There's the Shackle, will hit, and they're looking for another kill on Thug, and they'll find it as these 3 heroes combine again for a kill up top.
And that was a TP cancelled from the AA, so the AA can't come to help this lane. So if the Venomancer comes back, Penta can look to turn around, but it looks like they're smoking towards mid instead with the 2 support heroes.
Ooh, trying to get a kill on Oliver over bottom. Last hit will come in from maybe next time. So they'll get one of their own, now 3-1, but they're losing this top lane by quite a bit.
Yep.
Now over mid, they try for the Shackle onto the creep on Madara, not going to find it. 3 heroes here, Power Shot flies through, but Mouz, they're okay over mid as both the Bounty Hunter and the Windrunner try to take their talents over mid to get themselves a couple of kills.
Yep. Bit of a YOLO Shackle there, didn't connect, and so that gank doesn't work. I mean, that gank is a little tough in general because there's a Sentry Ward mid. I think the Bounty Hunter was aware of it, so normally I think if that Sentry wasn't there, the Bounty Hunter would just walk up and start by slowing the Monkey King. And so, bit of a failed gank attempt there. I think their best play might have been to actually kill the Venomancer top again and try to do as much tower damage as possible. So for now, both teams just farming their lanes. Venomancer's safe on, well, relatively safe under his tower unless he gets dove. But it looks like the BH is scouting out this next.
Have the spyglass at hand.
There could be a kill attempt on Oliver bottom.
You take a look over bottom. He's trying to run away. The cold feet coming in, not gonna proc, and he'll be able to run himself out.
Yep. Bit of miscommunication there. I think they wanted to get the cold feet during the sprout, but the sprout was a little early, or the cold feet was a little late, and so kill doesn't work out for them. They see the AA bottom, although that doesn't really give out a lot of information, and looks like there's actually some rotations going towards mid. You got the Sand King, Wind Ranger, and BH moving towards the mid lane.
And right on top of maybe next time.
And down bottom again. This is what they wanted last time. They wanted the cold feet to proc during the sprout.
And there's the cold feet comes up. I just don't know if they're going to be able to get the kill anyway. Cold feet again, chilling touch. It's enough.
Yeah, of course they get the kill. Nature's Prophet, casual, almost 100 damage with phase boots at level 5.
I thought for a second the Necro was just a touch too fast for him.
Yeah. Venomancer is actually one of the few cores in the game that's okay with a situation like this. Like, they're losing the lane, but he's getting his EXP, and he's actually just passively defending the tower by planting Serpent Wards. And down mid again. Or down bottom.
Skylark just trying to get run down by Penta. He'll be taken out by Oliver. It's a couple heroes that come over. Omni Slash through on maybe next time, and by a couple, I mean it's everybody for Penta that makes their way bottom. And they get themselves 2 kills for it. And they still continue
really
to
good
head over
rotation
mid.
from Penta. I think that's the one hero that they were looking to target this game, the Nature's Prophet, since the only lane that was really doing well was bottom lane for most sports, and so Penta did a really good job by picking him off and down middle.
Yeah, Madara getting very low as there's the stun from the Sand King. Blade Fury power shot. Maybe next time he might have come in a bit too deep. Shuriken thrown and a big time crit from 9, and they will get a second one.
It feels like Mouse Sports aren't really able to respond to this aggression from Penta Sports. I mean, part of the issue is that their early game presence isn't really...
Oh boy, SA Spartan is in a lot of trouble. Reaper Scythe, dead he is. And they take out another one. Penta's early aggression has just been overwhelming for Mouse.
Yeah, it feels like their early game, their ability to fight into Penta is sort of limited, and
Madara
lane
trying to make something happen with that Wukong's command. Blade Fury gets him out, but not far enough. That melee range from Madara is going to be enough to last hit 9.
That's actually a huge turnaround for Mouse Sports. They're almost 1k gold ahead now, and they managed to take the top tier 1, and they might actually, now that they have this lead, they might be in a position to push more towers, and someone's drawing more arrows on the map. I think it's the AA. Sort of getting his team ready to push this bottom lane, maybe?
Yeah, despite the early game looking very shaky for them, they're up 2,000 net worth. So they're going to come on over. Skylark's here with maybe next time. They'll wait to stun towards the end of this Ghost Shroud. They'll get it. There's the Cold Feet, Venomous Gale. They're running down Oliver. Epicenter used on the back end on just Skylark. They've lost Oliver already. The Balance Strike's going to stop Boogie. They're not going to get the kill. The dust is popped by the Nature's Prophet to continue going in on this. Sand King and Burrow Strike away for just a moment. But again, Madara, his melee range is just too far.
A huge turnaround from the early game for Mouse Sports. I mean, they're ahead almost 2k gold now, and this Bounty Hunter isn't level 6 yet, so Penta's not sort of in a position to want to take fights all the time. I think this BH is going to be sitting top until level 6, and so Mouse Sports, they pretty much have a free license to take this bottom tier 1.
So
Yeah, while all of that was happening though, Penta, they take the mid tier 1 from Mouse Sports, and it's sort of a reprieve for them. Free up a little bit more map control. This bottom tier 1's going down pretty quickly, and I imagine they're gonna keep pushing or possibly defend the top tier 1.
Let's see if they look to make the move. Nobody TPing immediately, so I don't think they're going to try and defend.
Yep. There's a huge potential for them to take this bottom tier 2, and the next wave that's coming is a siege creep as well. So you have the Plague Wards from Venomancer and the Treants from Nature's Prophet.
It's quite a bit for him to push this early, looking for a tier 2. The TP is coming in, but on the back end, Madara's already here. So the Boundless Strike will hit onto the Windrunner. There's the Kofi proccing. Omni Slash out on the Monkey King. They'll get the kill. That's their first track kill of the game. And now they might look for more as their tier 2 is getting pressured. They start to go away as the Poison Nova is starting to do that damage over time. Let's see if they can turn it around onto the Venomancer. They might be able to. DNZ is going to drop from Thug's damage. And now the Reaper Scythe comes out onto the Veno, onto Thug. Not enough, but there's the cleanup from 9. So 2 dead on each side. Ghost Shroud's there to try and slow up Skylark, but he's just going to TP out. No stuns available for Penta. You take a look. SSA Spartan trying to get away, but there's the TP coming in from the Windrunner, trying to land a nice shackle. Let's see what they can get. Not a shackle. Power Shot comes through. And still running back towards the tier 2, trying to run away from this team.
One more Power Shot.
Ooh. Oh, juked left by SSA Spartan, the Nostradamus of Power Shots.
Oh.
Actually, back towards this team. The Balance Strike hits on the Windrunner and 9. They'll take out the Windrunner on the return.
So it's the fight that never ends. Sometimes you're just chasing for so long that the enemy team respawns and TP's in. Also, down mid, Bounty Hunter might go down to this.
This is Ice Blast. 150, 141, 31, 122. Oh boy. Not enough.
Oh, no.
Very close.
Needed 2 more ticks. Yeah. So that headdress really paying off for the Bounty Hunter to heal up a little bit of health before that last hit. So I'm curious as to who will make the first move coming up next, because the Bounty Hunter does have track now, and if you're Mouse Sports, you're sort of aware, hey, we can't really let the enemy team pick us off, because the more they pick us off, or even if we trade 1-to-1, they still get more gold because of track. And so Mouse Sports, you know, they've been really aggressive in the last couple of minutes. They took 2 towers bottom, and so they're probably going to want to group up or at least prevent any gank attempts on their team. But it looks like the Jug is smoked up.
Thug up top. Ooh. Venomous Gale just pushes him back just like that.
Yeah. I mean, it's a bad place to go for a gank. They can't really guarantee the kill on the Venomancer unless the Omni Slash comes out, and they saw the creep wave there, so the Omni Slash wasn't going to work out, and without the Omni Slash, the fight takes way too long, and down middle, Rin Rin looks
Boundless Strike with the Ice Blast. Easy kill.
Yep. The tricky part about playing Jug against Venomancer is the Gale can't hit you when you're magic immune, but if it hits you before you're magic immune, oh, in the jungle.
I got that Bounty Hunter. He's going to drop to Thug. Just, I don't know if they knew he was there, but Ancient Apparition walked right up the stairs and immediately dusted like he did.
Yeah. As I was saying, if the Gale hits you before you Blade Fury, you still get slowed by it. So that's actually really painful for Jug if you get Galed before
Ice
getting your
Blast.
spells off.
Ice Blast is coming bottom. They're looking with maybe next time. There's the Ice Blast hitting, but Blade Fury and Necro around town.
I think they didn't have Nature's Prophet ulti, so they probably decided not to go for that. Or maybe they just noticed that a lot of Penta's heroes were missing. So it looks like for now, Boogie on the Sand King, farming up his Blink on Sand King, and I think a lot of these heroes aren't like super farmed for this stage in the game. I think there was a lot of fighting and a lot of kill trades occurring, and so both teams probably feeling like they need to get a few more items before they're actually able to make any big moves happen. You almost have this Orchid on the Nature's Prophet. He's about 300 gold away. And Monkey King is 200 gold from his defusal.
Nice blast.
And Venomancer is one of these weird heroes. Like, you never think, hey, this hero farms quickly, but oh. In the enemy jungle,
Look in the jungle, Nature's Prophet. Skylark gets the kill. And that's track gold again.
You never think of Venomancer as one of these heroes that can farm extremely quickly, but he really can. I mean, he clears ancient stacks really quickly with his wards. And talking about the kill on the Nature's Prophet right now, I think that's one of the kills that PENTA Sports needed to make happen. I mean, they'll take they'd be better off, I mean, obviously, but they'd be better off getting as many kills as possible while all of this farming is going on, since they do have track on the bounty hunter. But
you can
now
just...
that mouse.
Sorry, I was gonna say you could just see that track gold. I looked at the fight recap. It's 1,000 net worth swing with just one kill.
Yeah, I mean that is the most farmed, or was I think the most farmed hero on most sports. Looks like he's keeping top.
Up top, Madara there with Skylark. Boundless Strike, they'll get the kill. Madara just sitting as a tree on top of a tree on a very secret mission to get that kill on the Sand King, who has that blink.
Yeah, now that the Nature's Prophet has that Orchid, we'll probably see him go for a lot of pickoffs, since the Orchid does hurt PENTA Sports' team a lot. I mean, the silence down bottom.
Yeah,
The
down
silence,
bottom,
Every coin helps.
the silence helps against all their heroes, right? All of PENTA Sports' heroes have sort of an escape mechanism through their spells, and that's sort of countered by this Orchid. And the Juggernaut looks like he's picking up a Shadow Blade mid, or a Shadow Blade next. There's a blink on the Sand King though. He's sitting on the side, channeling Epicenter.
Epicenter comes through. That'll hit on one. Just the Nature's Prophet for now. The Wukong's command is going to be used. They'll take out a second of the Ancient Apparition already. So one will drop on the side of Penta. That'll be Boogie on the Sand King. They're continuing to try and chase on 9, but Oliver's right behind Thug. The Primal Spring onto the low ground. They'll get that last hit from Madara, and they'll clean up the Juggernaut. They look for more in Oliver, but they're on the Shrine. Ooh, a nice Jackal comes through from DNZ. Let's see if they can clean up Monkey King. No, that Reaper Scythe's not going to be enough. But again, Ghost Shroud is just slowing these heroes. Thug just hitting away on DNZ, who's quite low after that Balanced Strike came through from Madara. Power Shot's going to be a complete whiff. They'll get another kill. Skylark's back up. There's the Orchid. Cold Feet. Necro in a whole bunch of trouble. Stunned up by this Nyx. Thug with another. And that ends up being 5 dead. I think the Sand King died earlier, and everybody ends up being cleaned up by Mouse Sports.
Yep, I mean it looked like a really good fight from Penta. They sort of revealed the blink on the Sand King, got a really quick pick off on, I believe, 1 or 2 heroes, especially the Nature's Prophet, and it looked really good. But then I think Penta sort of just overextended, started losing heroes after the teamfight was over.
So now Mouse Sports up 4,000 net worth. Omni Slash comes right out on SSA Spartan to get the kill.
Yep. Does Omni Slash... Well, it was like a really value Omni Slash right there, because I think he got 3 of the Ancient kills as well. I believe Omni Slash one-shots creeps. I didn't know it one-shotted Ancient creeps though. Or maybe the creeps are really low, I'm not sure. Probably not that though. So really good pickup by the Juggernaut. I really feel like he should pick up a Manta style though. It really helps scale his attack speed and helps him with the silence from Nature's Prophet. And speaking of Nature's Prophet, setting up for kill metal.
Nature's Prophet over mid onto this Windrunner. Down she goes. DNZ will drop again. Skylark with another 5, 3, and 7. That Orchid
sort of a
really
brawl
paying
happening
off.
top.
You take a look up top. Boogie's going to be in that Sandstorm. They don't have Dust. It's on the Nature's Prophet if he does choose to come up top. Madara still trying to chase. Promise to bring lower into this lane, not where the Sand King was staying.
So the game really does feel in favor of Mouse Sports' favor right now. Penta haven't really been able to make a lot of track kills happen. I mean, there was that attempt to defend their tier 1 mid, but it didn't really work out for them. Bit of an overextension, and so really it feels like the BH should be playing around one of his cores that can go for pickoffs. Namely the Juggernaut at the moment, but
there have been a lot of times where Penta's looked very good in this game, and, you know, it's not a similar situation to Game 1, where they were down 12,000 net worth and really struggling. Meanwhile, I think Nature's Prophet was setting up over towards this side camp. The dust does hit onto 9, but the Ice Blast doesn't. They'll look for the stun. Going to be a miss from maybe next time. Right into the epicenter with RMN, and there's another track kill for Penta.
Yep. Skylark TP's away, but while that was happening, Venomancer and Monkey King, they're starting to get working on Roshan. Penta Sports aren't really in a position to stop this rush from happening. I mean, they're on the wrong side of the map and they don't have epicenters, so looks like Mouse will get this for relatively free.
So they grab it, picked up on Madara on the Monkey King. And now they have Aegis to work with coming into this next fight and next push for him.
Yep. Fedormancer is actually incredibly hard to kill right now. He's got 2 armor items, he's got a hood, a solar crest, so pretty much immune to both types of damage. Looks like Penta Sports are setting up top anyway. They're gonna get this track on the Nature's Prophet, hopefully.
Or at least try to. They don't end up getting it, but Venomancer in a little bit of trouble. We'll see how tanky he really is. The Ice Blast comes out on 3. The Reaper Scythe is going to hit on Thug. They're not going to get the kill just yet. He's still continuing to work away at this team on Penta. Boogie's going to be the first, or the second one to drop as they've lost RMN. They lose Boogie, Oliver, and 9. 4 drop. Mouz get the kills. They turn that around very successfully. And looks very good for Mouz Sports coming into this top tier 2.
Kill bottom. Won't happen, but really well fought by Mouse Sports. I mean, Penta, they sort of dedicated so much to the Venomancer, and Mouse Sports showed up almost immediately. So it really worked out for Mouse Sports. I mean, again, this Venomancer is almost immune to damage. Took the enemy team so long to kill him, and the Venomancer had 11 launch charges, so maybe he would have even lived if not for the Reaper Scythe.
So now he's got Pipe as well.
Skylark does actually have a Hex queued up next, so he's sort of playing this Nature's Prophet that looks for kills all over the map and has a ton of CC.
6,000 net worth here or net worth lead here for Mouse Sports. Let's take a look as Madara is coming in with. Maybe next time he's going to jump above these 2 heroes and right on over to RMN. So they've cleaned up the Bounty Hunter. They're looking for more. The Epicenter is going to come out on SSH Sparring, but it's not enough just yet. Boundless Strike's going to stop him in their place. He's still not dead. Burrow Strike comes through, finally gets the kill, but Madara will clean up this Sand King on the back end of that. They look for Oliver, the Primal Spring, to slow him down. There's the kill. The Shackles not in time to save his life. 3 die again on Penta while only taking out the Ancient Apparition.
Yep, really feels like the last 2 fights Mouse Sports has caught Penta in the process of ganking one of their heroes. And I think part of that is that perhaps they decided, hey, we can't really let Penta go for pickoffs, so they were just grouping up at the perfect times. And Penta don't really have the kind of burst damage necessary to win these type of engagements, you know? Like Penta, they always initiate on someone, but then it's almost never enough, or it's not quick enough that they can do it and get out, and so they're being punished for it in Mouse Sports. Looks like they're going to get a 2-3 here.
At least, I mean, they still have that Aegis available on Madara. Blink, Burrow Strike out on Thug. There's the Shackle Shot onto this Nyx, but it really has no follow-up. DNZ is just going to die. Monkey King goes in with ease. You take a look on the back lines as Skylark's going to be taken out by 9. The Venomous Gale is going to miss, but they have dusted up this Juggernaut. He's got to be very careful. They've got the Boundless Strike. They look for the kill. They'll get it. Madara with a double kill. He is just going all over the place with this Monkey King and grabbing these kills for Mouse Sports.
Yep. Monkey King still has his Aegis, so they'll probably look to take the racks with it. And they lost their Nature's Prophet in the backline, but they still have the rest of their heroes.
Ooh, nice 3-man Shuriken as they get the Burrow Strike out on 2. Ice Blast on these heroes will hit onto the Necro, so he's not healing anymore. But meanwhile, Madara is stunned up for the time being. 9 gets a double kill with the Omni Slash with hitting onto the Nyx and the Ancient Apparition. But there's Wukong's command to back up these Penta heroes. 9 as well as DNZ aren't sitting in the Wukong's command. The rest of the team's coming through. Thug might be cleaned up and finally is by this Reaper Scythe. But Boundless Strike and Skylark are here. Or Madara and Skylark with the Boundless Strike are here, and they clean up a couple of heroes. They'll kill off the 9 as well as DNZ. They also get the mid set of racks.
Yep. Really felt how strong a carry Monkey King is there when he's farmed. I mean, none of the other heroes can really touch him when he has that Aegis. Really use that Wukong commands to just zone out the enemy team from defending that racks. And so most sports, they pick up a racks. They had a couple of casualties, but nothing too major. They're 11k net worth ahead, and they managed to pick up a set of racks mid lane, so a really good spot for Mouse Sports.
Nature's Prophet here, Ice Blast with the Orchid, and now he's in a lot of trouble. Oliver not gonna make it out.
Yeah. Looks like Bounty Hunter might go down as well.
Oliver and RMN. This is now a 12,000 net worth lead after what was a attempt at a defense mid, and now an attempt to farm bottom.
Yep. If you're Mouse Sports, or if you're Penta Sports, you want to lose as few heroes here as you defend this tower.
So there's the buyback.
Try to get as many track kills as possible, but I mean, might be a little late for that now. The Monkey King does have a
Epicenter onto Monkey King, but again, he actually doesn't have that Aegis anymore. There's the Wukong's command, Omni Slash flying through. They've already lost both Oliver and DNZ. Madara will finally hit the deck. You take a look at 9, who's got the Blade Fury onto SSA Spartan with maybe next time trying to defend him. Now he's got no more mana. They've taken out Boogie, and they've only got 3 heroes remaining as now Boogie buys back. The Venomous Gale comes out on 9 as well as the Poison Nova. Burrow Strike's going to hit on Thug, but he is a hard target to kill. Spike Carapace will stop this Bounty Hunter in his tracks, getting very low, and will finally drop. Skylark is on the edge of death right now and will finally drop to the Burrow Strike of Boogie. Boogie actually getting quite low as well. He'll finally fall. They lose 9 again. There's the Venomous Gale onto the Windrunner trying to run back into this base. How far is she really going to make it? Gets into the well and will start to heal up, but they don't have Jug. They don't have Sand King for a minute. Necro will finally come back now.
Yeah, pretty good fight there from Mouse Sports. I mean, Penta sort of dedicated.
Oliver, he just TPs into the whole team, gets hit by the Gale, hit by the stun. Ice Blast trying to lead him, will grab it, and Oliver will drop, as well as DNZ. So GG, well played is called. Mouse Sports take this series 2-0, and they look very good in doing so.
Yep, I mean, Penta, they sort of had a good couple of first minutes, some pretty good pickoffs in the top lane. I think they killed the Necrophos and then they killed the AA, but it wasn't enough, you know. Mouse Sports, they really won bottom lane with the Nature's Prophet, and I think from there, Skylark just did a ton of work in the early to mid game to propel his team back into the game, and I think from there, really just had a lot of counter ganks on onto Penta Esports that worked out well for them.
And they looked very good on the side of Mouse Sports, and they take this 40-24. And win game 2, take the series 2-0. It was a good game by Madara, Thug, and really everybody involved. It's, you know, showing that Mouse Sports are here to play, and they move on to the next round in this upper bracket of the EU qualifier. So we'll have to see what they can do coming up in their next game. I think next for us is Hellraisers versus Kingwin, and we'll have to see those two teams in action. And I think I'm seeing Kingwin for the first time, and that'll be up next. So I'm your caster, Bcop, here with Franz at Bcop92 on Twitter. He is at Hello Franz on Twitter. Follow us to know when we're casting. Follow us on Twitch as well, and we'll be back in just a moment with that next series. Stay right there.